A very good morning to you all. My name is Samba Dabo, and I am broadcasting from Simply Decarbonization platform. Simply Decarbonization happened to be an NGO, a registered NGO in Gambia, an organization that focuses on environment and climate change issues. We only not focuses on them, we do advocacy, education, and other issues related to climate adaptations and mitigation. And I'm here this morning to talk to you or to share a little that I know with you viewers and listeners around the world. A little phenomenon, I'll call it, a rainfall in the Gambia yesterday, Saturday, the 8th of November. And I have the video courtesy of our resident bird watching expert, Mr. Tama Jefang. He did a good job. And you can see the video on the Facebook. Tamba is a respectable and a very knowledgeable bird watcher, somebody who knows a lot of birds of West Africa, particularly the Gambia, Senegal, and Guinea-Bissau. He has traveled extensively in these areas with groups all over the world. And I would love to recommend him to any Twitcher, to anybody who is looking for taking bird watching trips. You can contact him at Sita Joyo Resort. Let me come back to the topic of the day, which is a rainfall yesterday. It wasn't just a drip, a rain drizzling. No, it was raining cats and dog. A real rainfall. And if I could fully remember, last month, the Gambia's hydrologist, said that they made a statement that I see in one of the local newspapers. I saw it there, where they stated that rainy season isn't over yet, isn't finished yet. And yesterday's rainfall was a testament to that statement that they've made. And yesterday's rainfall, too, if you look at it in all dimensions, it is a wake-up call for Gambia that climate change, global warming, which is also part of climate change, or if you call it environment as a whole, which climate change is part of, or our natural world, there are substantive evidences that our human activities has in fact tipped the balance of our natural world, and it has altered it, and that brought about this climate change. Climate change per se, if you look at it, means a long-term shifting or variation of world's Earth's average temperature and weather patterns. Because if I could pretty well remember, when I was young back in the 70s, mid-70s, early 70s, all the way, we see rainy season start from May, June. By June, we are typically inside. May, the rain falls, and by August, September, the rainfall finish. Yeah, but you could see nowadays, the rainfall started a lot more later. It's not May. It's not even June. End of June or early July, it starts now. And it will run through all the way to September, October. But yesterday, it did. The rain did fall in November 8, which is nearly halfway of the month. So it is a wake-up call for the Gambia and wake-up call for the Senegambia and the whole world that something is happening, and we also need to shift away from our business as usual, status quo. We need to act, because when the hydrologist said that Gambia's hydromet said that the rainy season is not finished, I believe that the government should put the resources and preparedness, both in terms of disaster management, in terms of health, putting all the health infrastructures in working order, human resources all in working order, in case of eventualities, something like this. It wouldn't be only confined to that as well, only those two areas. And our agricultural assistance, agriculture ministry also should be on full alert, because we are entering into a crucial season, which is trade season, and a time which is also poignant in a sense that people who grow groundnuts, they'll be starting harvesting their groundnuts, digging them up from the ground. And also the millet and the sorghums, they will also be started, harvesting them. So if we happen to have a rain at this juncture, that rain will have a catastrophic impact on the peanut, groundnut, and is going to affect the groundnut trade season. And in affecting the groundnut trade season, is going to affect the government's revenue that's coming in, and not talk less of the local farmers whose livelihood is dependent on the seasonal farming. So the rain coming yesterday, definitely the groundnuts that are already in the ground, they are bound to be sprouting. They will sprout. The nuts inside the soil will start growing again. So that's not good for the farmers. And if they harvest them, they are also out on the ground, on top of the ground, waiting for them to dry. The rain falling of them is going to make them moist, which is also going to, attract molds, fungi and others that started infestation on them, which can also cause aflatoxins in them. Instead of having the proper nuts inside, this will affect the quality of the nuts as well. And in doing so, it's also going to have a big hole on the farmer's income. And we all know when the trade season is good, the farmers have money, they'll spend the money, and that induced income also will float around within the economic system, will make the economy more vibrant, and it will make money readily available to many. So if the farmers don't have money, in this sense, they have less money, then it's going to affect the trade season, and it's going to affect the government's income, foreign earning, and it's also going to affect the local socio-economic activities. So all these things are intertwined, they are all related. So if you thought of the immediate actions that could be done, I've just point out few. Those are the immediate adaptations or mitigations, for the government to put in disaster preparedness. That's one. Health centers ready and ready to go. That's another one. And the AA's agricultural assistance in the field to help. with their skill set, their knowledge, their experience, they can help the farmers. And together, these things, these three areas, they can galvanize, harness the resources together, and that can lessen the impact of yesterday's rain. But nonetheless, the climate change is affecting the entire world. If you look at Africa, our annual emission, if you grade the entire 54 African states together, their annual carbon emissions is only 4%, less 4% of global emissions. So Africa, we are not the biggest polluters. The biggest polluters are America and China, and India is not far from them, and the Western Europe, the Western world. The global South, we all suffer. The global North are the biggest polluters. So you could see, even on the 28th of last month, which is just last week, I would say, literally maybe 10 days ago, or 11 days ago, that was Hurricane Melissa that devastated Jamaica, Caribbean island. It was of most of the Caribbean islands. But by the time it was landfall in Jamaica, particularly a town called Black River, it was category 5 storm. Category 5 storm. It flattened the entire place. They call it ground zero. And just last Friday too, they are about to hold COP38 in Brazil. There is another town, small town called Rio Benito. Another tornado went there, just tore off everything there. Within 2 minutes, everything was flattened. Those are the climate shock waves. Climate change shock. Climate shock waves. These are the things. These are the phenomena that comes out because there are sudden extreme heat waves. We've seen them. Flash floods, where arid areas or desert areas that haven't seen rainfall for 50 years, you see the rain coming down, flood floods all over. This, everything on the road, on its path is just bulldozing everything on its way. You see heat waves, particularly in Europe here and America, killing tens of thousands of people in summer. You see wildfires in America, burning for weeks, for days. They are all effects of climate change. We do have climate refugees, climate change refugees in Africa. And in most of these Pacific islands as well, Easter Islands, Vanuatu, Yerewan. You come to Africa, you go to Sudan, it's there. Somalia is there. Climate refugees because of drought and famine. Nothing grows at those areas. They are cut their livelihoods. The animals they keep, camels, and cattle and so on, goats. They die of what food? No water, no food, no fodder to eat. So all those are, effect of the climate change. And Gambia, we are not immune from it. The climate variabilities is all there for everyone to see. So Gambia, what we can do also is we have to go back to our nature-based solutions. It's very, very important. We go back to nature-based solutions. protecting and restoring our natural buffers like coastal wetlands and forests, which can defend against storm surges, absorb flood waters, and regulate local temperatures. Our natural buffers. Banjul has a natural buffers. That was the Bone Road wetlands, which was all reclaimed now. They were all reclaimed. That's why every little rain now, Banjul floats. Despite the fact that the government spent tens of millions of dollars to do the drainage and, they've done, well, Barrow says he's done a good job. I have to commend him for that, what he's done there. But it hasn't solved our problems. That Bone Road wetlands act as a buffer to absorb most of the waters that come from Banjul and enable them to go through those mangrove swamps and finally to get into the Atlantic Ocean. So those wetlands, they were there for a purpose, but they've all gone. Protecting our existing forests too. Look at Salaji Forest. My beloved town, Sukuta, we are the custodian of that. They gave away 5 hectares to Abubakar Jawara. For what? That man bulldozer 5 hectares. Half a kilometer square. That was what was given to him. Because 5 hectares is 500 meters by 500. Every hectare is 100 by 100. So that's half a kilometer square. That's what they gave him. For what? To build what? To bring basalt there. Basalt for who? For his own business. So we need to be serious. You check Abuko Nature Reserve. People, kids are jumping around the Willingara end, jumping in them to go and play football. That place is not secured. The only viable wildlife educational center we have there, a world-renowned research center for that matter. It put Gambia on the research map. Abuko Nature Reserve. It's not big, just 180 hectares. Acres. That's why it is. You see? Nyambai Forest, Kabafita Forest, even the community forests that we had, the initiative, those come later, they are doing better than the central government, or the one that are under the directorate of the national, our forestry department. All of them, even Kiang West National Park, they are all in a dire situation. We need to do ecosystem restoration. These are not far-fetched. They are not rocket science. These are simple things that we could do. That's why they were called nature-based solutions. Protect and restore our carbon sinks. Apart from the forest, the only other two carbon sinks we have, forest and the soil that we live on, is the River Gambia. River Gambia with the mangrove swamps on both sides of where the river is salty, both north and south bank, and the Atlantic Ocean. Our oceans and rivers, they are taking more carbon dioxide. It's not good for the water because it's going to alter the composition of the water. So the marine creatures and aquatic life that lives in the river, the marine biomass is going to alter it. Once the equilibrium, the seawater, once it loses those compositions, it's going to affect the marine life in it. The same thing goes to the aquatic plants living in the river where the river is flat, where the river is fresh, or even salty. So those Tambi Beach, Tambi Forest, mangrove forest, which is the only Ramsar Convention that we have. Ramsar a site that we have in Gambia must be protected at all cost, because they are doing a very good job. Because those mangrove swamps, they are taking in loads of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. So something needs to be done, and people are doing it. The Gambia Environmental Alliance, they are doing it. And this restoration of our forests also shouldn't go without the indigenous fruit trees and herbs. We need to bring them on. Most of the plants that we are recently planting there in the country, most of them are foreign. They are not our indigenous trees. Our indigenous trees needs to be restored so that we can get the forest back, because they have a niche role to play. They are playing a very crucial role within the ecosystem. So when we omit all of them out of the ecosystem, it's not good. So we need to bring them all, from spongy fruit to Saba senegalensis, which is kaba, locust bean, grey plum, gingerbread fruit, custard apple, climbers. We need to bring them on. Camel fruit tree, mahogany, rosewood, ironwood tree. We need to bring them on. West African labano, we need to bring them on. It's very important we bring those ones back, plant them. Black plum, grey plum, bring them all. Yellow plum, we bring them all back. We need them in the system. They all play a significant role. And the fig tree, the strangular fig, kobo minka nyaming fenkobara. Let me say that in Mandinka. And the cluster one, soto minka tara don katara jumarinyoka. They are very, very important. Gambia is known for bird watchers' paradise. If we want to maintain that, we need to bring these wild fruits and herbs back. Bring them in the system. The rum palm tree, the raffia palm oil tree. We need them all. We need them. So, it is a wake-up call, but something could be done about it. The ones that I mentioned, those are immediate actions, or those could be the immediate mitigation that can be done to lessen yesterday's rainfall. But on a near future, we should try to use our nature-based solutions, protect and restore our carbon sinks. Climate-smart agriculture is not bad as well. It's a fanciful word, but our people were doing it. You could see them, where we are doing the cultivating peanut. We put the sugarcane there, or even sorghum, within it. So it's more like intercropping. So it's all happening. So, folks, I've been here for almost 24 minutes. It's coming to 25 minutes. But I've said a little that I think I should come out and say it. And it's important we all look into it. We gather our resources together, and we have to start this action today. Climate action we should start it together today. So we should start decarbonizing today so that we can have a better future for everyone. Ciao.